Game number 8 of the 2011 Clover Hill Varsity football season. The Cavaliers at home to face off with the Trojans of Midlothian. And the chiller holding up to its name tonight. A cold, rainy night at the Cavaliers' home field as they set to face off in a big game. Cavalier playoff hopes pretty much diminished, but they'll need to win this one to keep any outside chance alive. Opening kickoff of the game will go to the Cavaliers, and it's Rob Rodriguez picking it up. He brings it back 26 yards to the Cavs' 40-yard line before Jay Moss makes the stop, but it's a penalty against the Cavaliers, so they'll drive them back, and the ground attack begins. Joe Caleb, he's going to get a carry here. Darius Moffitt's going to pick up a couple carries on this drive. They'll drive on downfield, move it down until it's Joe Caleb set up with a 12-yard run to the end zone. Touchdown, Cavaliers. Caleb fighting his way in there, finally getting the TD for the Cavs. Extra point attempt will be by Cameron McCarthy, and it'll be good. So the Cavaliers lead 7-0 early in this game. Cavaliers eating up about 6 minutes in that drive. Taylor Stout's going to get the carry for the Midlothian offense. He's going to carry it 4 yards down to the Trojans' 37, where Peyton Grider makes a stop for the Cavaliers. But that's going to pretty much be all. No big plays there for the Midlothian offense. Cavalier defense holding the line there. Brandon Tyson getting a little words of advice from the ref, Cameron McCarthy. We'll go get up close and personal with him. And the Cavalier cheerleaders wearing their rain suits there. A dreary, dreary night at the chiller. But that's okay because we're still here to play football. No lightning in the air, so we play on. Cavaliers once again using that ground attack as Joe Caleb carries for only a yard. With a good defensive play of Midlothian, Cavaliers punted away. Cameron McCarthy sends it down 39 yards, and Daniel Jackson is immediately met by Rob Rodriguez, a loss of 1 on the return there. Then it is going to be a ground attack by the Trojans, but they go nowhere. Peyton Grider, Brandon Tyson, and others in on defensive stops for the Cavaliers. So they look to the air. This one go complete. He sends it over 13 yards for a Trojan first down. Omar Howard on the reception there for the Trojans. Then they'll try to drive it up the middle, but no gain. It's Brandon Tyson and Peyton Grider stopping the hole in the center of the Cavalier line. Then that Midlothian offense decides to go to the air again. This one deflected, though. I couldn't tell who it was, if it was Devon Gibbs or Kyle Flaherty, who knows. Several Cavaliers in on that offensive rush attack, and they'll go to the air once again. This one complete, though, and it goes for 11 yards. Madison Day picking it up for the Trojans. Second quarter play now. Trojans on the attack still. Taylor Stout takes it 16 yards and a first down down to the Cavs' 36-yard line. Bobby Fulp and Devon Gibbs finally making the stop. Then it's a 6-yard gain. Madison Day taking it up the middle, and he's stopped by Joe Caleb. Then Taylor Stout's going to pick up 8 yards. Joe Caleb again in on the stop. Then a big hole in the middle gets closed quickly by the Cavalier line. And a fumble is forced, and the Cavaliers will recover. Kyle Flaherty forcing the fumble, and it is recovered by the Cavs. So the Cavalier offense once again will take to the field. And a big offensive play here by Darius Moffitt, taking it 63 yards for a Cavalier first down deep inside of Trojan territory. That's going to set up a field goal attempt by Cameron McCarthy from 33 yards out, but it is blocked. Kyle Clark getting up there to stop that one for Midlothian, so they'll take over on offense once again. Caleb Carney, he's going to carry for 9 yards, finally stopped by Kyle Flaherty and Joe Caleb. And then it's Brandon Tyson and A.J. Fox making some nice defensive plays for the Cavaliers. Tim Thaniel and Devon Gibbs all making stops on this drive for the Cavalier defense. Then the handoff, and then it's going to be another fumble here, and the Cavaliers are going to recover. Caleb Carney, he's going to carry for a 3-yard loss, and the fumble forced by the Cavs, recovered by A.J. Fox. But with little time left on the clock, Cavalier offense can't get it down to a field goal range, so they'll go to the halftime break with a 7-0 lead. Opening kickoff of the second half, and it's McCarthy sending it down 30 yards to the Trojans' 30, where Kyle Clark picks it up and brings it back 13 yards before Kyle Flaherty and a host of Cavaliers jump in on the attack there to make that stop. Next two possessions for both teams are 3 and out. But on the Trojans' next possession, Daniel Jackson takes it 57 yards into the end zone for a Trojan touchdown. Midlothian racking up some points here, putting up the 6. And then Travis Taylor comes in, tacks on the extra point. We have a 7-7 tie with just about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. But the Cavaliers are going to fight right back in this one. Travis Taylor kicks it off. Darius Moffitt picks it up, and he's going to bring it back 29 yards into Midlothian territory for the Cavaliers, darting all the way across the field, cutting all the way back across to the other side, and finally brought down. Then Joel Caleb's going to call his own number. Number 6 keeping the ball, and he takes it in from 45 yards out. Cavalier touchdown. Caleb taking it all the way into the end zone. 6 more points for the Cavaliers. It's 13-7. So McCarthy set up for the extra point attempt, but something wrong with the snap. James Evans picks it up, tries to get it around the corner, but doesn't get it in the end zone. The Cavaliers lead by 6. So McCarthy kicks it away, and the Trojans get a nice return, 23 yards back to near midfield for the Trojan offense to take over, but Madison Day only picking up 4 here. Trevon Rogers, several of the Cavaliers, Justin Orange, and others getting in on that stop. Garrett Miller and a couple of other Cavaliers all have a nice defensive play there. And Caleb coming back out on offense, and he finds Tim Thaniel at midfield. 32-yard reception there for Thaniel. Then Caleb on the run, but he loses the ball, and the Trojans recover the fumble. So that gives the Trojan offense another shot at it. Caleb Carney carrying for 4 yards. Kyle Flaherty and Sam Johnson making a nice stop for the Cavaliers. They'll hold off on defense, and it's Caleb firing, but this one is intercepted. Cavaliers taking over on offense and turning it right back over. Eli Forsman intercepts it for the Trojans, where they'll take over on their offensive attack as we roll into the 4th quarter. Cavaliers now having to fight it out defensively from inside their own red zone, and they do make a couple of good defensive plays, but the Trojans are going to get set up with a 4th and short, and they'll drive it in for a first down. They'll get 1st and goal to go, and then it's going to be Daniel Jackson. He's going to carry for 8 yards down to the 5-yard lines, and then Caleb Carney from 5 yards out takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. But the go-ahead extra point attempt goes wide, and the Cavaliers hold them off there, tied at 13-13 early in 4th quarter play. So the Trojans kicking it off to the Cavaliers. Travis Taylor sends it down. Nice kick. Darius Moffitt, though, has trouble with it, loses the ball, and it's recovered by the Trojans. So Midlothian's offense returns to the field once more. But the Cavalier defense hasn't given up yet, as Bobby Fault makes a stop after a 3-yard run from Madison Day, and then it's Day carrying it again for only a yard on a 4th and 2. He only gets 1. The Cavalier defense holds, so the offense returns to the field. Joel Caleb trying to find some running room around the corner. He gets stopped. Cavalier offense unable to make much movement, and then the punt by Cameron McCarthy heads down, and once again the Trojan offense will take to the field. Time winding down, though, in the 4th quarter, but the Cavalier defense just playing too tough for the Trojans, and they'll hold them off on this drive. Cavaliers get another shot at it on offense. They're not able to do too much with it. Then the fumble by the Cavaliers, and the Trojans recover with great field position. So now the Trojans with the ball at the Cavs' 15-yard line. They'll try to drive it in. Daniel Jackson, he'll get sacked for a 1-yard loss by Devon Gibbs. Then it's Travis Taylor coming out. He's going to try a field goal attempt. This one along with the 35 yards. It gets tipped a little bit by the Cavaliers, and that one falls short. So the Cavalier offense gets to return to the field again. Joe Caleb, he's going to pick up 15 yards and a first down before Omar Howard forces him out of bounds. Cavaliers trying to make some adjustments, but they're unable to do anything offensively here on this drive. They'll have to punt it back to the Trojans. Trojans take over. Then Caleb Carney, he carries it 18 yards for the Trojans, but he loses the ball. Joe Caleb forces the fumble, but it's recovered by Tim Thaniel of the Cavaliers. Cavalier offense out there, but Joe Caleb gets sacked for a 5-yard loss, and that's the end of regular play, so we go into overtime. But Sam Williams, Brandon Tyson, and other members of that Cavalier line just hold too firm. They hold him off, and then the pass from Daniel Jackson gets intercepted by Tim Thaniel in the end zone, so the Cavaliers get their attempt at the overtime play, and on the first play, it's Darius Moffitt getting the handoff, and he takes it right up the gut, baby, into the end zone. Touchdown, Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers win it in overtime, baby. 19-13, rainy, dreary night, perfect football game. This is the kind of thing you love to see on Friday nights. See you next week.